Running stitch for seams. At the end of the session, you will be able to make seams using the running stitch, which is an important application of the running stitch. That is, you will be able to join two pieces of fabric with a running stitch. Let's see the running stitch being done for seams. To do this, you will need a needle and thread, a pair of sharp scissors, and two body pieces of a baby frock that need to be stitched together. Step 1. For joining the two body pieces of this baby frock, place them with their right sides together. We will be sewing with a running stitch on the wrong side. Step 2. Take a threaded needle with a knot at its end. Usually we would take the same color thread as the fabric. Here for demonstration purposes, we are taking a contrasting thread for visibility. Then start by inserting the needle at one side of the fabric, leaving a seam allowance. The knot will secure the thread. Step 3. The basic motion of your needle is the wave motion, coming over the fabric and under the fabric. The procedure for working the running stitch involves inserting the needle into a fabric and taking it out at small regular intervals. Step 4. It is much more laborious to pull the needle through on every pass. If you simply guide your needle over and above a few stitches and finally pull the needle through, it is a whole lot easier. Get into the habit of making small even stitches on your fabric. Remember, the smaller the stitching, the stronger your seams will be. And the lesser the distance between the running stitches, the stronger it is. It is not recommended to make the stitches any wider than 1/8 of an inch if this stitch is used for seams. Step 5. At the end, you're going to tie it up by making a small knot. For that, pick up a small bit of a fabric, pull the needle through, leaving the end as a loop, and then insert the needle through the loop. You will repeat this step once more just to secure the knot. Clip the ends closer to the knot, leaving 1/8 of an inch, and you're done. Step 6. Repeat the same on the other side of the baby frock. The two sides of the baby frock are done. That is the running stitch used for seams. So if you keep your stitches small, secure the beginning and the end really well, it is actually a pretty effective stitch. What will you do if the thread gets twisted while hand stitching? If while hand stitching the thread gets twisted, then step 1. Relax and dangle the needle and thread. Step 2. Relax it by twirling and straightening out the thread with the fingers. Step 3. Once the thread is straightened, then you may continue stitching. A word of caution. To protect your finger while stitching, you may use a thimble. With that, we've come to the end of this session. Before we conclude, let's recall what you have learnt in this session. You have learnt that in order to make seams in a garment, place the fabric pieces with their right sides together. Do the running stitch on the wrong side of the fabric pieces. Make small even running stitches with less distance between the stitches. As smaller the stitches and lesser the distance between the stitches, the stronger the seams will be. For seams, the distances between the stitches should not be more than 1/8 of an inch. Hope now you're capable of making seams with the help of a running stitch. Take our next session to learn how to make gathers using the running stitch.